Welcome to the Moonlit Tavern. I'm Lunari, your DM, and today I'll be going over the house rules we're currently using in our campaign, the Radiant Citadel. If you're curious about the Radiant Citadel, we have an introductory video that I will link here, so you can check that out if you would like to know more. These house rules are mostly inspired and taken from other amazing DMs and GMs. Some you might recognize and some you might not. I will try my very best to give credit where it's due, but feel free to let me know if I miss any so I can go ahead and add them in. We're going to start with spell casting. If you're out of spell slots but want to cast something, you can do that. However, you will take exhaust per each level of the spell and per spell cast. So 2 level 3 spells put you at exhaust 6. And the levels are as follows. Level 1 gives you a disadvantage on ability checks. Level 2 makes your speed half. Level 3 gives you disadvantage on attack rolls and saving throws, and level 4 halves your maximum hit points. At level 5, your speed is reduced to 0. Level 6 sends you into death saving throws, but you can be resurrected if you fail. Level 7 puts you into death saving throws, but you can be revivified and not resurrected if you fail. Level 8 will put you into instant death, and only high resurrection can bring you back. And level 9 is instant death and no resurrection or magic can bring you back. Potions can be taken and drank as a bonus action without having to roll. They can take the full healing of it. I don't think the potency of a potion changes depending on how fast you drink it. So whether it's a bonus action or full action. Familiars can also feed people potions and things like good berries. However, for familiars, that would take their entire action. A nat 20 in initiative allows players to pick their place in initiative order. So if they have something in mind and they want to go, in a specific place, they can just let me know. Otherwise, they can just go at the very first. On a critical hit, players add 1 maximum associated die to the roll. So if they normally do 1d6 plus dex for their damage, they do 1d6 plus dex plus a 6 to it. It also, however, applies to monsters hitting players. In battle, if your PC is about to die, you get to do a last stand, a final hurrah. You can do a final massive attack, 1 final epic stand, a talk, anything they see fit for their player. As a result, the character will die, and resurrection is not an option. If players or a monster roll a 1 on a spell save, the spell crits following the formula explained earlier, so they will have 1 maximized die added to that damage. If a player's natural armor is at 11 and they're wearing armor that brings them up to a 16, this is purely for roleplay and flavor purposes. That 1 to 10, of course, does not hit them. For 11 to 15, they might get a description of something just grazing the fabric of what they're wearing or just barely almost making contact. But of course, it does no damage. And 16 plus, of course, hits and does damage. The numbers are, of course, change depending on what each player's AC is. For the checks, if the players are performers or trying to do any sort of negotiation, persuasion, any diplomatic conversation, they might get bonuses and advantages based on the situation if they actually do whatever performance it is or actually give a talk or make a compelling argument. This one is not really a rule, but more just a note for my players that whatever character backstory they give me will be used one way or another to the best of my abilities. So the trauma that they go through is their fault. We are also using emphasis rolls. So if they try to do something a bit off the wall, they will be asked to roll 2d20s, and whichever is farther from 10 is the result. So if they roll a 9 and a 17, they will take the 17. And if they take a 3 and a 16, they will take 3. So they randomly kind of get advantage or disadvantage based on how they roll. Players are also allowed to hold their action in battle in case they want to do something with another player, and depending on what they want to do and how cool they describe it, if it is, again, kind of off the wall, they will both be asked to roll an emphasis roll, and if they both get basically advantage, they automatically hit. I don't need them to roll to hit, and if they both get disadvantage, they automatically miss. Players are also asked to roll certain things privately. They will be, of course, told beforehand, but the one thing that is always private is death saves, because it just makes more sense for it to not be an obvious thing, usually. So death saves are always private, and there is no exception on that one. Next one is that players are asked to take max health upon leveling up, just because then I don't want to worry about if they get hit hard. We have the crit roll, and I want them to have as much health as possible, especially that I have a few casters. Players also get around a minute to discuss between each battle round, combat round, discuss what they want to do and if they want to do anything together. But when the battle round actually starts, they don't get to discuss things like doing things together or anything like that. They also get around 10 to 15 seconds to declare what they're doing when their turn starts. If an action is not declared, they will be skipped for that turn with a quick storytelling from me to just explain what happened, whether they fumbled or anything that happened like that. Use of inspiration. Players can have up to 3 inspiration points stacked up. It is, of course, gained through gameplay or anything that they do can gain them inspiration. They don't have to announce it before they make a roll, but if they roll and decide to use an inspiration, they can do that and take the higher roll, of course. However, they can use 2 inspiration points to make the DM reroll and impose disadvantage on that roll, whatever it is. We also have some limits on multi-classing. This campaign goes up to 14 levels. The players have to put 9 levels into their primary class. The remaining 5 can go into any class. There's no limits on number of the classes you take, so you can have technically 6 classes, but it's preferred if you cap it at 3 classes. This is another one that's just kind of a reminder and not really a house rule, but dark vision only lets you see in shades of gray, so you will still have disadvantage on perception checks in darkness, dark vision or not. When players are trying to convince each other of something or deceive each other, they will be asked to roll regardless, and depending on how well they roll, the other player will just get some info. They will not be told outright if the other player is trying to deceive them or persuade them, but this is just so that persuasion checks don't stand out and the other player doesn't know that if they're actually being persuaded or deceived. So they will just privately make that roll, and based on what they roll, I will just give some hints of like, oh, whether the player looks like they're being honest and truthful or not, which it could also happen if they roll really high on deception. So it's just that they kind of don't have that mental bias of, oh, I'm being lied to, because there's a roll. And this is another one for roleplay reasons. If a character falls to 3 hit points or less, they are allowed to roleplay them losing consciousness as long as they're out of combat. It makes sense for a character to be able to fight like that due to the adrenaline rush that's going. But 3 HP is very little and very low, and shows that there's been heavy damage done to your character. So in my mind, it warrants role-playing them as losing consciousness until healed. Players can use this to their discretion. They are, however, told to try not to overuse it and keep it for actually impactful moments. However, it is up to them, but our players do an amazing job. And last but not least is that crying is a free action. Does not matter if you're on combat or anything else. Crying is a free action. So yeah, these are the rules that we're currently using. There is 1 or 2 more rule that is kind of in discussion, and we're kind of testing out to see how we like it before we actually add it to the list. But you guys let me know how you like these and what rules you usually use in your campaigns. or what rules you've seen other people use that you really liked, or even really disliked. So let me know what you guys think. And you can always find us under Moonlit Tavern, and you can always find me at Lunaristars.